Good evening. Wondering how a doctor by profession is speaking about harmony in space in Genesis. As a surgeon and a doctor, I have always been intrigued and fascinated by the human body, the working of the human body, right from the microscopic cellular levels to the macroscopic organs. How everything works seamlessly to sustain life and to make a person to live in good health. Upon searching from where did all these things come from, it naturally led me to the larger cosmos. Medicine and astrophysics both explore systems, the human body and the cosmos. Imagine the microscopic cells to the organs and the atoms to the stars, all working in perfect harmony, creating and sustaining life. So if you see the galaxies at large, the space at large, the cosmos, right from the working of the atom to the large galaxy clusters, all work in harmony because of certain fundamental forces like gravity, electromagnetism, the strong and the weak nuclear forces. All these forces should be in harmony at the right proportion to create even an atom and thereby the matter and the stars galaxies itself. So if you see the slide, this shows the similarities between the human body and the universe. Actually, the calcium in your teeth and bones, the iron in your hemoglobin, everything is from the stars. You have to understand that the human body does not manufacture anything. It is all ingested by food either from the plants or from the animals. So all these things are manufactured only in the star system, and you can see the similarities here. The topmost slide, you have the human eye and the Helix Nebula. Nebula are nothing but the death of a star or also the birthplace of a stars. So the birth of a cell in similarity to the death of a star, and the neurons in similar to the galaxies clusters. So when you look up at the night sky, how many of you think what is the most abundant matter in the universe and what are the forces at play that created those matters? 75% of the matter in the universe is hydrogen, and 500 million tons of hydrogen is fused by the stars in a nuclear fusion reaction producing helium, and the byproduct is light. So the stars, actually if you think the star is a big ball of it's a big ball in fire, actually it is not true. The sun is actually not on fire. It does not have oxygen to burn. The sun is actually a large fuzzy ball of gas compressed by gravity to have a nuclear fusion reaction producing various elements in the different layers of it. For example, the hydrogen is fused into helium, helium into carbon and oxygen, and so on and so forth until you get iron. So once the iron is produced, the star is incapable of fusing more elements. So the star explodes into a supernova, and all the materials, whatever you see in the periodic table, is strewn across space. That is what you call it as a nebula. So all the elements in the human body, for example, the nitrogen, hydrogen, carbon, oxygen, you can see the proportions how it's made in the human body. It's all from the stars. So let's dive into the process of planet formation straight away. So this nebula is or the molecular cloud wherein all the materials are in small microscopic molecules and microscopic atoms and molecules. They all tend to coalesce by electrostatic forces and by gravity to pass on to a stage called as the protoplanetary disk. This protoplanetary disk swirls across the center by the centripetal forces and by the gravity, and what is there in the center is the protostar. So all the material that is outside swirling across the center again gets crumbled into small objects called as planetesimals, and these planetesimals again starts to join, attract to each other by the forces of gravity, and they get into the stage called as protoplanets. So once the protoplanet is formed, You can see the rocky planets like the Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars are towards the center, towards the sun, and the gaseous giants are outside, the outer gaseous giants like the Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. So the next stage comes the clearing of the protoplanetary disk, wherein all the materials are either incorporated into the protostar or into the planets, and the remaining elements are ejected out into the space. By then the orbits becomes very stable for a planet, and it starts revolving around the star, and the teutonic plates in the planet settles down, and various layers of atmosphere starts to differentiate. You see, there are many forces that were playing in harmony to create all these things, but not only that, there are other phenomena that also should help to shape the planet and life. What are they? So the solar and the stellar winds, they are high energy radiations getting emitted by the star and by our own sun. So these high energy radiations gets deflected by the Earth's atmosphere. That deflection is what you see as the northern and the southern lights, the aurora borealis and the aurora australis. Cosmic rays are high energy radiations coming from deep space. They are either primary or secondary. Secondary is when the primary rays gets into the atmosphere producing the secondary rays. Asteroids and comets. Asteroids are leftover materials of the solar system. They range from few millimeters to boulders and kilometers in size. They are planet killers. You know, the dinosaurs got killed by the asteroid impact. And you might have heard about the Schumacher-Levy comet slamming into Jupiter recently. So all these again pave way for planet formation and for life to evolve itself. So there are many forces like this that has to play and work in unison to create all these things. The supernovas are high energy explosion. When a massive star dies, it explodes into a supernova. The energy that is getting released from the supernova are the gamma ray bursts. They are so intense radiations that it can outshine an entire galaxy for a couple of seconds. It's divided into high energy rays and low energy rays, and the black holes are very high energy objects. It's called black. It's black because the gravity is so intense that even light cannot escape. The gravitational force is so immense that it sucks in stars, it sucks in planets. Magnetic field reversal is the other force. You have the North Pole and the South Pole. Many a time what happens is the North Pole gets switched to the South Pole and vice versa. Of course, this takes thousands of years to happen. Usually the life gets adapted to it. Rogue planets are planets that are formed in a particular solar system, but then it gets ejected out of the solar system and it just wanders aimlessly into space. So now that you have various planets getting formed in various star systems, so why do you think that the Earth alone became habitable and why not the other planets? There are various again factors which acted again in harmony and unison to make Earth what it is today. One is the size of the moon towards the Earth. Many planets have moons, but all the moons maybe 60, 70 in numbers. You can see Jupiter and Saturn have 60, 70 moons, but all very small in comparison to the host planet. But our moon is 1/4 the size of our planet. So the moon is responsible. So the moon is responsible for the tilt of the Earth and thereby the seasons. The electromagnetic field, the Earth has got a molten iron core. This molten iron core generates electromagnetism, and this deflects the harmful radiations from the sun, paving way for life to evolve. The Earth's location, again, the Earth is not very near to the star. The water will be in a vapor form. The land mass itself will be like volcanic, or too far where water will exist as a ice. So this is called as the Goldilocks zone, where the water exists in liquid form. Tidal locking. Are you aware you're only seeing one face of the moon? Nobody has seen the other face of the moon excepting, of course, the Apollo astronauts. The moon is tidally locked to the earth, so you always see one side of the moon. That is because the moon's rotation and revolution are at the same pace. Likewise, there are many planets out there in the galaxies that are tidally locked to the star, which means one face of the planet will be in scorching heat, the other half will be in pitch darkness. So obviously life cannot develop there. And it's very common in outer space, there are binary star systems. The planet will be revolving around 2 stars instead of 1. It's very common. So again, the day and night, all these things are difficult for life to evolve. And our cosmic background is devoid of high energy radiations like gamma ray burst or supernova. Imagine if anything going in the neighboring, in the backyard, it will strip off your atmosphere clean and dry. Now, because of these forces, the earth has come to this level. And how do you think life evolved into it? And why not in other things again? See, actually Mars is much smaller, so though it had the iron core, since the size is smaller, the electromagnetism went away quickly, thereby the sun's radiation stripped the atmosphere off. So coming back to the origin of life, there are various theories how life originated. One is called as the primordial soup hypothesis, wherein the prehistoric Earth's atmosphere, which was very different from what it is now, had methane and carbon dioxide and argon and other different gases. So because of lightning, a different kind of a temperature and pressure, fusing 2 carbon atoms to form amino acids, the building block of life. The other theory is the hydrothermal vent, wherein instead of the energy coming from the sunlight, you have volcanic vents in the deep oceans. These volcanic vents, again with a different temperature and pressure, interacting with the salinity of the water, producing amino acids and carbon. The other theory is panspermia, which says preformed amino acids are embedded in comets and in asteroids, and they have been transported into the solar system, and when they enter into the atmosphere, they burn it up and the amino acids get driven into place. So in summary, whatever may be the reason, Earth is very unique. We haven't found out Earth 2.0 yet. The Earth is full of life with diverse life forms, plants, animals, etc. Even to go to the nearest star system, it takes 4 light years. 4 light years. With the current available technology, it will take lakhs of years even to go to the nearby star system. The other interesting fact is, all the asteroids or comet or any planet that you see are studded with gold, diamonds, platinum, etc. But you will not be able to find out a single blade of grass. That is only in Earth. So you have to understand the importance of Earth, how it got evolved, so many forces working in unison, and thereby life and thereby us. In conclusion, the cosmos and the human body is unimaginably complex and beautiful due to the delicate balance of and harmony in the fundamental forces that created it, and is a product of billions of years of evolution. We should appreciate this cosmic symphony and be wise enough to understand we are from the stars, and that true happiness is good health, and true paradise lies right beneath our feet. Heaven is a place on earth. Thank you.